Alright, here we are in this best of one series, actually, in the losers bracket of the Aureil Stormgate 2v2 tournament. And playing in the blue and teal in the cool colors today is going to be Team Aftermath, and this is albino. Playing the Vanguard. And his infernal buddy is TheoRy. Their opponents today in the hot colors, we got playing the Vanguard here. This is yoru. Yoru's playing Vanguard. Who knew that? And his partner in the Celestial, I guess, is msrm. Neither of these players are playing their main faction. Both of them are Infernal players normally, or that have been traditionally. But little known fact that is probably now well known is that yoru has been practicing Vanguard, and here he is showing that off. While msrm, I didn't know msrm played Celestial actually. I didn't know that one. So this might be new. I did have a little bird told me that yoru was practicing his Vanguard, so I'm not as surprised by that one. Now in these 2v2 tournaments, sometimes you mix it up just so you can get a good synergy with your factions, or maybe that might be how they chose their factions, or maybe they just wanted fun. Who knows? A lot of fun chaotic battle going on over here around these Shadow Mastiffs. It's almost hard to tell who's who, but I need to keep in my mind teal and blue. Those are the cool colors. Cool versus warm. And yeah, it looks like warm won this. And because what's going on here, there are 7 Bobs here. Bobs, you're supposed to mine. You're not supposed to fight, even though you're invincible. But it looks like they're here to fight. They're here to fight. And we'll see. They might also be here to build. Oh no, the Hexen turns to fight and she gets taken out. A lot of brutes going down. Bob's doing what they're here for, which is body blocking, a little bit of tanking. There is a buzzsaw cannon, which has now turned into a flak cannon. But they just rotate to the next ramp. Here there's a meat farm, actually very well positioned meat farm for your Infernal players out there. This is the kind of SimCity you want on your ramp to protect against exactly this kind of push, Lancers and such. But the Lancers do make it through, the meat farm goes down, and now these units are all up in there. The Bobs are still here too, and look, the Bobs are putting down a sentry post. That's what you don't want to see. That's what the Bobs were here for. Look at how many Argents there are. Bobs being pulled by albino with overcharge to fight, but they're going back to mining now. I'm not sure why they were called away. Not clear that there's enough here from albino and TheoRy to fight this off. That sentry post, oh I see, the sentry post never got up. The Bobs were focus fire down. That might have been part of that Bob pull. Wasn't fully sure there. Argent's on top of the Bobs now. There is a buzzsaw, oh it's flak cannon from the ramp here, taking out some reinforcements that get misrallied. But it's Lancers in the imp line doing a really good job to mow down some of the eco of TheoRy, and the Argent's also doing a good job here. So far albino and TheoRy have not really been able to answer these units. Some of them are low, but they're not really dying. Even the imps turning to fight the Lancers, getting a couple Lancers, but there are still 6 Lancers here, 3 of them quite low of course. Another Bob came. The Lancers now trying to get some damage, but they don't want to run too close to that flak cannon. New Bobs have showed up, so there's now a sentry post on the map for yoru. Actually, it's not quite done yet. He actually cancels one of them. It's a repair turret that he makes. Interesting. Well, the repair turret works on the Argents. Never knew that. I mean, makes sense. Most of the Celestial units count as mechanical. But it's Bobs from Albino now that have turned to fight, and they're actually making a little bit of a difference here. The sentry post gets taken out, and it's Yoru's Bobs that are now trying to get on top of the Exos, but that doesn't look like a fight they can win. They turn and move back. More Lancers show up. This force is finally starting to get whittled down. The flat cannon over there again getting into the battle and maybe being able to take out a couple Lancers. And what a interesting push. The Argents, the last remaining Argents, as well as a couple Bobs pulling back and deciding that that might be it. Now let's take a little bit of stock here. We got 7 workers here. We got 8 workers here, so it's not super bad. Here we have another base. This is TheoRy's hidden base, which is doing fine, to be honest. That Argent harass didn't seem to do too much because this is still fully saturated. And now these Argents are back into a corner. They just want to get anything they can. Oh, wow. Crazy micro from TheoRy, using a farm trick to keep that imp alive. But all of those Argents got taken out. And what do we see here? It's too bad because Lancers are already back here. And they're on top of the imps here. Overcharged imps. Even as an Infernal player, I kind of hate this for some reason. Forgive my visceral emotional reaction to seeing that. These Lancers being like, I'm just going to run out through the flak cannon. A few of them pay the price for that. Argent's coming for. I really like msrm and yoru's commitment to this sort of ongoing pressure, but I feel like its effectiveness is starting to dwindle, and hopefully they've got a transition behind this, because now the Bioforce of Albino is on top of this forward creation chamber and it's going to go bye-bye. Alright, a little lull. Oh, wait. No, there are Argents up here, but they're in full retreat as well. So it does look like these units are pulling back. And we do see a forward base, if you will, being taken. This is, again, this like 7 minutes in, and your initial array is outmined because of this mining trick that you do. Really crazy. Single brute. Let's call him a scout brute. Another scout brute. His whole job is just to delay that force. This tower narrowly not captured. Not captured by either of them. And what's that? That's because there's actually a little strike force coming in here from Albino. I was gonna say with system shock, but there's no medtech here. That was just a speed boost from the cam. And what kind of damage are these units going to get? So far, they kill a couple Exos that are coming out of production. But a ton of Lancers show up again. Nightfall Infest missed. And Albino does retreat without losing too much, if anything at all. And now it's TheoRy here on the aggression. There is a Sovereign's Watch here, and that, of course, is doing some pretty good damage to those brutes. They choose to retreat. But a powered bank did go down, another one being summoned to replace it. The way that these teams are playing is very interesting. There hasn't been a lot of coordinated fighting necessarily. There has been some. But we see there being kind of almost a two-pronged attack when they're attacking. One of the players engages the army while the other one tries to do damage or get a flank, as we're seeing here. Trying to body block these units by getting onto the ramp. This did not work out super well for Albino because he ended up having to fight both of the armies here, while TheoRy's army was focused on the buildings down below there. Nonetheless, it does look like the flank did help out a bit. And yeah, that's going to be GG from yoru and msrm.